Welcome to the In Season podcast, rated R for language.
None of us are doctors or neurologists. The things you're about to hear are opinions of people living with epilepsy or seizures. These are firsthand experiences. Epilepsy can cause speech problems, and the medications are hard to pronounce. So please bear with me.
Epilepsy can cause bad memory, so some stories will be repeated. I'm Pookie. Get ready. What has been the most difficult time you've gone through, and how'd you get through it?
Toaster, you're up first. Welcome.
I gotta think on that.
That's why Toaster's up first.
Yeah. Muted now. Think so. Okay. The most difficult time period. I would say Nevada. Nevada was terrible. Don't get me wrong. I love the desert. Beautiful place. Never want to live there again. And it wasn't just the relationship, which was the thing of itself, but you couldn't not be down on your luck in Las Vegas. If you worked there, it was a hellhole. Visiting, perfect. Never lived there because casinos, which are the only place you can really work, have a 6-month cycle of people. They will hire people for 6 months, then another 6 months with promises that we'll hire you full time. We'll hire you full time. That never happens. So you're in a constant state of, I need to get a job. I need to get a job because everything is so expensive because it's a vacation place. It's bad. Okay, thank you.
Trying to think of a rough time. Like, I've been through some shit, but
Tell us about prison.
Never been.
Making assumptions? Come on now. We gotta cut that.
So I've been
Ann,
to
what about
jail.
you? I mean, you want to talk about going through some shit. What about Ann?
Oh God.
Oh,
You lived a minute. You've been
I
around.
lived a minute. I'm gonna say it was Maryland. I loved Maryland. I absolutely loved Baltimore with all of its faults, but I didn't plan on being in Baltimore, living homelessly in Baltimore. It was my sister that was uncomfortable with me being alone in Buffalo. She lives in a very remote area of Southern Maryland. And I'm talking remote, okay? And
Nowhere near Silver Springs.
I don't even know where that is. It's closer to Virginia than it is to Baltimore. And if you know where Patuxent Navy Base is, that's where we basically were. Her husband, he's a retired chief. What they do forget to say is petty. So I make that a very official issue with the petty chief, but he thinks he owns the world. They both do. And
there's a reason why there's petty in the name.
Yeah. And they have control issues, and they thought that I was just another child to them. And after years of getting my nephew through their trauma, I didn't really want to do it, but I didn't feel like I had a choice. She was very controlling, very invasive. And the way it ended was what really got me. I had a seizure on January 3rd. And apparently she just couldn't handle that because she didn't know what to do. And asking me what to do while I'm having a seizure is not productive. So, of course, she was mad at me for that. And a week later, she had the police remove me on an order of protection. So I was like, you've got to be kidding me. So I had to gather a few things, not thinking I'm never coming back to this house. So what's the first thing I grabbed, Pookie?
Weed?
You know it. And I grabbed some weed, I grabbed some Fecco, everything I needed for that. And I didn't know what I was going to do, where I was going to go. And I'm heading outside, and I collapsed on the lawn. And the police called an ambulance. And by the time the ambulance got there, I was in status. And they took me to the local hospital where her daughter-in-law works, and then transferred me to a psych rehab where they took pictures of all those bruises, the busted lip, the black eye. How did this happen? I have no idea. I do remember this. So they had to look at video at the hospital. I got beat to shit in their emergency room, dragged face down naked, ripped the skin right off my knees and at the top of my chest. Literally, I needed wound care for a month for those. And
Those are not healthcare professionals at all.
at all, but they were told to treat me in a certain way.
Well, you did say psych, right?
Oh, yeah, it's true.
Well, that was the emergency room. Then I was
Oh,
transferred
okay.
to a psych rehab because my sister is convinced that this is a psychiatric issue because she has those. And, this is epilepsy, and Risperidol won't help me. So at that psych rehab, after they did all the pictures, they're doing everything, they took me off of all of my medications and put me on psychotropics. Well, what happens 12 hours after my last dose of Vimpat? And they're not a medical facility, so they had to ship me off to the nearest hospital, which was MedStar East, which is right next door to Johns Hopkins. And Johns Hopkins already had my records. So they're like, okay, we're going to send you over there. But they still had to send me back to the psych rehab because
10-day hold.
I was on a 5150.
Yep.
So I had to get it to go from involuntary to voluntary, which takes a week. And the very first thing I said was, are you going to give me my medication back, or are we going to do this again? Because then I'll sue you. Okay. I don't know who you're listening to and why you're not looking at medical records, but this is your last chance. And I have my full faculties now that I'm full of benzodiazepines and anticonvulsants. So fuck around and find out. So they gave me my Vimpat, and the psychiatrist sat down with me and said, okay, from what she said and what I see, I believe you. So we're going to get you out of here. So I get out of the psych rehab, and what is it? I'm homeless in Baltimore. That was an experience. But the phone call when I was at the rehab from my sister, they record every phone call, every single phone call. And she called and she's like, oh, I just want to see how you're doing and yada, yada. I'm going to make you pay. That. Pay for what? What did I do to you that made you do this to me? You're lying. You lied to me. What did I lie about? And she literally went psychopathic on the phone. So the psychiatrist was like, okay, let's get you out of here. And that phone call nullified her order of protection, but it made it possible for me to get what's called a federal restraining order. So she can't even visit the state that I live in. And her husband's family lives here. Too bad. Because if your GPS shows that you were in New York, you go to prison for life. This is a zero tolerance crime. And what she did was, and so that was the worst. And coming back here after being homeless for a month, that was the worst part. Nobody wanted to help me. And it got to the point where I said, okay, fine. Then you're never going to see me again. That's it. You're never going to see me again. And my sister wouldn't give me my phone back. So I had to go get a burner phone. And I'm running out of money fast in a hotel room. So it's like, okay, I had to hit the shelters. I couldn't keep my weed. I couldn't keep my Vimpat. I couldn't keep any of that. So I had to sleep on a bus for 4 days until I had more money for a hotel room. So all of that, and then coming home, my family was like, we don't want to hear your side of the story. Okay, you're going to listen to her. That's fine. I can have her arrested anytime till the day I die. And that's my sister. So she's recently reaching out to my kids again. Oh, I really would like to talk to her. I really miss her. I this, I that. And we had a family meeting. It was May. It was Mother's Day. And I said, look, I don't know if you guys understand this whole thing, but this is what happened. This is where I stand with my sister legally. And any attempt to contact me third party, she can be arrested. And trust me, I'm not going to wait this time. This is the last time. If she asks about me, just don't tell me unless you want her going to prison. And it's not going to be county jail. This is federal prison on a zero tolerance crime because she put a vulnerable adult in a life-threatening situation. It was code blue. So it got as low as 22 degrees in Baltimore. And I was homeless with epilepsy. And yeah, it's like, go ahead, make my
You
day.
got back into
So
a corner and you fought it.
oh yeah, and I still do, and now my kids understand, and their dad had something to do with it because his attitude. And it's like, all right, I'm going to explain what I've learned in therapy. Okay. There are these things called narcissistic personality disorders. You can have narcissistic behavior, but when it becomes a disorder, these are the things that happen. And it turned out that she was convinced that I was on Social Security disability. And she looked at all of the construction, the adaptive construction, and looked at the dollar amounts, added it up, figured out she could put a second story on her house with all that money. Only problem, I was not on Social Security disability. I'm living off of a structured settlement from a work-related accident. Okay? I do not get so. She sat me down and she's like, I want you to open your Social Security account. I don't have one. So she's like, da 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 da. So for, I think, almost 2 years, because she had all my paperwork when she had me locked up, she's been trying to apply for Social Security and access my bank account. And the last time she went after my bank account, she got arrested by the bank because they knew what was going on. They know my address. They're like, you are not Anne. You don't even look like her. She looks more like Katie does. Okay. Dark hair. She got all the Native American heritage on her. Okay. I got the Irish and through and through. So I'm like, I know you're my sister. I will love you till the day you die. But if you keep doing this, I'll make that day happen sooner. And, I don't have a problem with, I did, and which is why I avoided it. It's like, I didn't want her going to prison. And now it's like, I really don't care. If she's going to continue the behavior that's going to put her there, that's where she belongs. But that was my worst time, was having my entire family betray me and believe her when I finally said, look, I still talk to her neighbors to this day. They are crazy. These people are nuts. I didn't know how bad it was till I moved there. And they're like, yeah, she told us all about that she wanted to redo all this and do all this to her house. And you screwed it up because you lied to her about where your money came from. And I'm like, whose business is that anyway? If I'm paying the rent you asked for, it doesn't matter where my money's coming from, right? So, I mean, it just kept snowballing. It's, oh, you never paid rent. I did a direct transfer from my bank account to theirs, and you have to write what it's for to do that Zelle transfer. And it was rent. So they send me this letter. Oh, you were a guest in our house. You never paid rent. So I had the bank send them the printout of all of those transfers, and shit hit the fan, and it's like, and then it wasn't too long after that my ex-husband was picked up and ended up in federal prison himself. So, my kids were believing them. And now that it's been almost 3 years, they're like, oh my God, we feel so stupid now. Well, an apology would be nice, but yeah, that was the worst time, was having my sister move me. It was a 10-hour drive. Um, it's a 3-hour drive just to the airport in Baltimore. And I was like, what the hell am I doing here? What the hell am I doing here? So yeah, I needed therapy by the time I got to Rochester. But that was the worst time in my life, was being betrayed like that by somebody who was absolutely convinced and convincing everybody else. Oh no, she has psychiatric issues. Only when I'm having a seizure. But yeah. That
Did
was the
you
worst.
say? Did you say 10-hour or 2-hour drive?
It's a 2.5-hour drive from Lusby, Maryland to the Baltimore airport. So even if I wanted to take a plane home, it was like a 2-hour drive. It was okay. Yeah, it was about 2 hours, about an hour and 45 minutes. Because when we were going to see the doctor in Bethesda, who is connected with Johns Hopkins, it was an hour and 40 minutes. And I don't know if you're familiar with Baltimore, but they have, it's called a beltway. Their highway is a beltway. It's all loops, exits, entrances, and I call them get them on and get them off. They're not just on the right, they're also on the left. It's a 6-lane highway, okay? And it's all turns and twists and insane. And she drifted after this one appointment where we were talking about surgery, because no, this is a psychiatric issue. And she told the doctor he was a fucking asshole, which I was like, okay, you're going to have to leave. I need to talk to this doctor. You're going to have to go. And she made this huge issue. And because of where that doctor's office was, she had to be removed by federal, federal agents, federal police, because the Champlain building also holds the CDC, the NIH, and several other government departments. And that's where my doctor's office was. So you create any kind of havoc in that building, you are literally dragged out by the ears. And she didn't account for that. So by the time I get back in the car, she's yelling at me because that happened to her. And I'm like, oh, I get this. No, you can't do that. The way you talked to my doctor was unacceptable. Well, I don't believe him. I'm not going to let you do that. It's not up to you. If I have to have surgery, I'm going to have surgery, So it's like, and it was after that, she's like, I'm not taking you back there. So I ended up getting Medicaid transportation. And because they had almost 30 cameras surrounding their house, she could see whatever I did. Okay. They even had microphones in the bathroom. Okay. It was fucking psycho. And I was like, I was the only one that didn't have access to these cameras. So if somebody came to the door, I had to get up. I'm like, that's ridiculous. So, but anyway, she found out that I was coming and going. Who was that picked you up? Micro managed. And, oh, I told you to have dinner ready at 4:45. I am not here for that. So when shit like that started getting worse, I got a case manager. And yeah, so she actually did me a favor throwing me out of the house. But that was the worst time. And it still is, because I lost my sister. I still love her, but she's dead to me because she cannot come back in my life. and everybody is like, oh, why can't, oh, you're such a good person. I thought you were better. I thought you were somebody. I thought you could just forgive her. Unconditional love is not unconditional tolerance. There are certain things that are unforgivable. She nearly killed me. She put me in death's hands and did not care. And for a caregiver to do that, that's inexcusable and unforgivable. So, that's still a thing. Well, she knows she wants to talk to you. She can do it through a glass window. Okay, I'll make those arrangements, and she can talk to me through a glass window. She looks better in orange than I do anyway. I can't. So that was the worst time for me. Yeah.
Yeah. Isn't there like laws to protect people from caretakers? Because I know there's
Yep.
laws to protect me and the people, they always want to come see my living situation. And if I'm in a safe area or whatever the case, they want to check
Yep.
the closet to make sure you really stay there and all that stuff.
Yeah. Oh yeah. And then the laws outside of like that would be like care management, case management. The federal law for ADA, for the American Disabilities Act, is if you place a vulnerable adult in life-threatening harm, that is a zero tolerance felony. You don't have the privilege of a trial. You do not have the privilege of a hearing. You go straight to jail for a minimum of 10 years before you can even consider a trial. And if after those 10 years the government says, no, you don't deserve a trial, you're staying, you're there for life. And that's ADA. But her interpretation was, well, I can say I didn't know. Now that doesn't work. And that's what she did in court for the order of protection. Oh, I didn't know about her epilepsy. And I'm throwing all this stuff at the judge. I'm like, this is what she wrote to my doctors in Buffalo. And she still got away with it, but she nullified it less than a week later when she called me at the at the psych rehab and went psycho. And I'm like, yeah, I think I'm grateful that this call is being recorded. You didn't tell me you were recording it. I'm not home. You know where you called me. You know where I am. You know better. So too bad for you. Yeah. But that was the worst. That was the worst betrayal. And still, it still makes me cringe. It's like, how the hell can anybody, and she's one of those, for lack of a better term, it was virtue signaling. Okay. Oh, I moved my sister here so she wouldn't be alone. I was so worried. Oh, I want you to go to church. I think you'll be better if you accept Jesus again. I accepted Jesus and I accept that religion, and I do not practice that. I also accept Buddha and Allah and those religions, but I don't practice them. I am not, I divorced a Baptist preacher for a reason. And she was no different. But it was just the ticket that she was using, that she was helping me when she wasn't. I was the maid. I was the live-in pet sitter maid, and it's like, oh well, too bad, but lucky for her, she still has her independent life. Um, but I did tell my kids, either don't tell me or tell her to stop. Because if you forget and you tell me, I just have to make one phone call and they will pick her up and she will be gone forever. And I really don't want to do that, but she didn't think about me. So, yeah, I have a little more empathy, but let me tell you, narcissistic personality disorder is very dangerous, very dangerous. And learning how to protect myself from that after surviving 3 of those relationships, I'm like, yeah, okay, I can see right through you. Now I can come right out and say it. Yeah, I saw that. Yeah, okay. How nice of you. You know, or could you repeat that, please? I need to hear what you said. Or I need you to hear what you said that. You know, I don't understand. And when you do that to a narcissist, it's like, oh, you heard me. Yeah, okay, let me repeat what you just said. That's not what I said. Oh, yeah, it is. That's why the record button on my phone is great. It's like, oh, yeah, listen, this is what you just said. But I mean, having somebody that suffers from, I don't know what kind of psychopathy she suffers from, chasing me around her house with a gun. And I didn't know if it was loaded. And I'm like, just praying to the universe, go to my room, grab my cane, which I don't use a lot. I don't have it with me all the time. And I'm like, go ahead. Go ahead. And she's like, oh, what are you going to do? And I swung at her hands. That's what I'm going to do. You hurt me. You were trying to kill me. And, oh, I don't know what to do now. And she went to touch the gun again. And she got the cane on the back of her neck. So go ahead and tell me I am incapable. I am not. And I'm like, then that's the day I found out she's not supposed to have firearms at all, because she was gone for 3 days after I called the police. I'm like, I'm really scared. I don't know if I can trust what's going on here, what kind of guns they have in the house. I don't want one, but I feel threatened. So they came and got the gun, got the girl, and she didn't come back for 3 days. Good. So I'm like, there with my brother-in-law, and I'm like, where are the guns? Oh, don't ever, ever say anything about Denise being, having access to a gun. Yeah, I know. I know now. Oh, I know why. She's not supposed to. And I'm like, yo, you want me to get one? How about I get one? How about
My
if I just get
ex-husband
the
can't get a gun
compound?
anymore.
Well,
Can't own a gun.
no, I can't own a
Reason.
gun, but I am a sharpshooter with darts and an arrow. You do not want to see me with a compound bow. I will take your head off. Okay. You get the right arrowhead on that, and yes, your head's gone. It's not going to just go through it. It's going to rip it apart. So don't. Just don't. Yes, I can't have a gun, but it doesn't say I can't have a bow and arrow.
We gotta go to the range.
But yeah, the worst times. The worst of times.
Can I add on?
Yeah.
Thank you, because it gives me a wonderful idea.
Oh no.
My ex-husband, okay. The reason why I now live with my parents is because my ex-husband decided he found out about me smoking and decided that he was going to use my head as a hammer.
Smoking what?
Right. What's
a cigarette.
Oh,
okay.
I know. I mean,
oh please.
Oh God, yeah.
Tell me
if you have
super
ever
conservative, right?
read a book called, I'm actually gonna get it out of my bookshelf. Now, don't let the pronoun confuse you. Why does he do that? In the forward, he says this is he uses the term him, but it could be for girls
Anyone.
and boys. It is synonymous because it's all about narcissists and how they get into your mind.
Oh yeah.
And my dad got me this book when I came back, and it has helped me so damn much.
Oh yeah. Oh yeah.
I will post it on the Reddit or do you not? You don't do Reddit?
Yeah,
I'll post it in the chat.
I'll be back. I had a tantrum. What can I say?
It's okay. We love you. You are allowed to have a fucking tantrum.
So you're allowed.
Okay, that was 100% Irish. Okay, I'm like, fuck this shit. Yeah.
So can I use Delta still?
What?
Can I still use Delta on her babies?
Yeah, I still have Delta. Yes. I count on Delta.
Annie, you only did one thing wrong. You should have said it was heroin, not guns. and they just
Oh,
left the house with bags of heroin.
well, when when there's a psych tag on the house and the person who is tagged has a gun, that's
Mm.
even more effective than saying it was drugs. So
Oh,
I knew
okay.
that. I knew that. And I'm like, oh, this is not going to fly very well. This is going to go really bad. And it did. But hey, I wasn't the one chasing me around with a gun. I wasn't doing that. And it's like, you want to play, you're going to pay. I'm not, and that's when it's like, I was surprised the way it ended, but I wasn't 100% disappointed because I had to get out of there anyway, you know? Oh,
Yeah.
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 Hey, Lufa, what do you have to add to this?
I couldn't get my thing to work.
Yeah, you could.
I lived with a nurse. Well, I lived with several narcissists, but when I was a kid, my mom dated a female, and she by far is probably the most vile, evil person I have ever met in my entire life. I thought that for 4 or 5 years, I thought that she would just gonna kill us because she would put ads up on Craigslist. And it was like insane. So narcissistic people are like it's it's a really tough ball to play with because it's like that most likely is rooted from somewhere, but that doesn't mean that you get to have me hiding in my closet fearing for my life because your parents did the same to you. I I'm like I don't know what else to like there's just not really too much of a and that would be like me doing the like going up to people and doing my self-harm to them. It wouldn't it's just totally incorrect. It doesn't
No
make any sense.
excuse.
No, there's no excuses for it. There's ways to cope. There's ways to get through it. And if you really are that bad of a narcissist, learn to be alone. Like, there's nothing else that you can do. You gotta learn to be alone. Then you gotta learn to only do people in doses and things like that because it's like iffy. It's an iffy game. Because I know
Yeah.
you're
I mean,
never,
Yeah.
it's never their fault either. It'll never be their fault.
No, never, ever.
They'll never take accountability. It's never their fault. They could throw a wine glass at you, which my mom's ex has done, and that was my fault.
Oh,
I,
yeah.
I provoked that.
You made me do it. Oh, I know.
Yep.
always. Yep.
What else can I say? I just have those powers within me.
Yeah.
I like it's like I can control people. Oh my God.
Yeah, I know a
That's what's
similar situation. Well, kind of. How you said, it's like they never did anything wrong. Someone said, oh, she slapped me. And the other person said, well, why'd she slap you? And she's like, does that matter? And he was like, yeah. And I was just listening. It wasn't my conversation. I was like, wow. It's your fault. Just basically, she was like, so what did you do for that to happen? And yeah. No one acts to get slapped, I guess. Lufa, the icebreaker question is, how did I forget?
one of the worst times in your life. What is the worst time since I guess since diagnosis that that you've had to deal with? How have you managed?
And how'd you get through it?
Since diagnosis?
Well, let's
I
just
should
say
I
a hard
shouldn't yeah,
time.
I shouldn't have included that part. Just think what's the
Well,
worst
that
time in your
was
life that you've
doing me a
had to
little.
manage?
That might help. Wait, can we specify? Because I've had a lot of worse moments.
Okay. What's
Like
been the most difficult moment ever? And how'd you get through it?
Let's keep it epilepsy related. I'm gonna keep it epilepsy related just for the safety and sanity, and so there's no editing concerns. Um, Probably the worst moment in my epilepsy is during it. Either when, well, definitely for the years that it took for them telling me that it was psychological. But probably getting injected with 3 booty juices in the psych ward and the doctor telling me it's all in my head and refusing me my medication, and then me waking up in the ER because I had a seizure after they shoved 3 needles to sedate me for no reason, just because I wanted to talk to the doctor. Um, it's not my fault that he was short and he didn't feel like he could back himself up. So I might have come off a little aggressive, but when you're, let me talk to the doctor. Or probably, well, there was another one. There, oh, it's not like, okay, the myoclonic seizures are probably like the worst just overall because they're so painful and they just never stop. They never stop. But and the Capra's been bad. But I was I have a loose definition of dating. So people often think that they're dating me, but I don't think that I'm dating them. So just to preface that. So I was with this guy and I was living at his house at the time. So maybe that might have gone into a little more. But I think that he's a narcissist, and I think he thought that he could separate me from my mom. But I've already lived with a narcissist or two before, so um you know. And he started threatening my cat. So I was like, no, I'm gonna leave. And you cannot disconnect me from my mom. I have a phone. Bye bye. So I got out, but before that happened, he brought me to one of my neurology appointments, and that was the one that I had a seizure in. And he was the one that was there for that, so that was like the breaking point of it. Um, but he was like, oh my god, it was so annoying. He was like, I held you through a seizure. How could you leave me like this? Like, you're just gonna take all your stuff, not tell me, and the cat, and leave? Buddy, you were threatening to taxidermy my fully healthy cat. Please. And you have a million taxidermied rats around the house. One's doing cartwheels and handstands, so I need to leave. And he's like, I literally held you through a seizure. Okay, that was the least you could have done. Anyone could have held me. You were in a neurologist office, so I bet on my butt that there were other people assisting me, because then I ended up in the ER. So I'm not gonna assume that you specifically held me through the seizure. I think you just witnessed it. I think it traumatized you, and I think that you don't like that you can't manipulate me like you can manipulate the other girl. He was literally trying to be like a Mormon some or other, like having a million different housewives, and I'm not a housewife. I didn't know what I was getting into. I was just trying to get out of the other house that I was in, got into that house, then I got into my mom's. Thank God. Got back in with my mom, and now I'm safe again. But he was really annoying because he just kept using that as the excuse or like the reason why I shouldn't have left him. Um, but I was already backed stuff up before I had the seizure. So, like, what? Anyways, yeah, that was that.
So,
Sorry.
not Rick, Jeff and Raven, the
I might
icebreaker.
I might have to go really for a little bit because my friends unexpectedly showed up and I haven't hung out with real friends in a while. So I hope you guys understand.
We'll be here.
Okay. Hearts. Bye, guys.
All right.
The icebreaker today was, what was the hardest time you've ever been through, and how did you get through it?
Well, you know how I got through it, Pookie. I put one foot in front of the other, and it just kept moving. The worst moment in my life, and it's really the only regret I have in 77 years. I was another person, and I cheated on my ex-wife. I did it once, and it was maybe 45, 50 years ago, and I still regret it. And I've told her I still regret it. Um, but it was, I was doing one drug, she was doing another drug, and we were drifting further and further away. And somebody approached me that I worked with, and I wasn't thinking, I was high, and I said, sure, why not? Um, and I regretted it ever since. And
Hey, at least it
that's
sounds like
not.
you learned from this experience. Not beyond regret. You know why and what to not do it again. It sounds like you used it as something to learn from.
It's yeah. It's certainly I learned from it because I never wanted to do it again. Uh, but even more than that, I was disappointed in myself, and I never wanted to feel that way again.
Totally understand. I've cheated and then regretted it. Yeah, been there. Still regret it.
Hmm.
It walked past me all the time. Raven, it's your turn.
Um, that's a hard one because I've
You had a lot of time.
I've had a little too many
Hmm.
traumatic experiences. I'm sitting here like, oh, which one was worse? I have cyclic vomiting syndrome, and it's kind of related to the epilepsy. Like the seizures will trigger the vomiting syndrome episodes, and I think just pick one. And that was probably the worst thing I've ever lived through. I've had probably 100 of them, but they're always the worst thing every time. So that's probably top of my list. And how do I get through it? I mean, dissociation and trying to just breathe. I don't really know, but I'm still existing, so I guess I did get through it. Yeah.
Absolutely made it through it an even better person.
Um, maybe so. Yeah, I don't know.
Hey, at
But
least you have techniques, knowing how to manage it. That's something that doesn't always make sense until you actually practice it.
yeah, I think the way you get through it is you exist until it's over.
I like
Yeah,
to
that's one
end
way to look at it.
Yeah.
Kate, it's on you.
Yeah.
All right. Figured it was going to happen eventually. And my monitor just shut off. Sounds like everybody's still there, right?
Yep, we can still see you.
Okay. All right, I'm going to start playing with wires. But I guess I would have to say that it's probably the divorce. You know, it's what's going on right now. Just uncertainty, not knowing what's going to happen. Most of all, thinking that anybody will ever have control over me or, you know, where I go or what I do. Just feels like a big no-no.
Yeah. I haven't been through that yet, but I plan to not go through it,
Yeah, you
especially
never will.
divorce.
You got enough sense.
Yeah. Yeah, that's rough. My worst time, um, you guys got it all worse than me because I was very sheltered and I didn't notice until I got older, maybe now. So yeah, I didn't have rough times. I mean, I guess high school. High school was the rough time. That was the part having epilepsy and kids know, and you're walking past people who you think are talking to the people about what's going on with you because they're all whispering to each other when you pass. Maybe I thought they were whispering, maybe they weren't. But that part when everybody's in that class and they're whispering to their friends that aren't in that class and telling them that I'm having seizures and stuff. And yeah, then you got to walk past some of those people and all kinds of stuff. Kids are cruel. That's what I've come to find out. Kids are cruel, like no filter, and they don't understand. I'm not gonna say I don't blame them, but I've come to find out children are cruel. Um, there's some creatures that we just wait till they grow up and get better.
Yeah,
Okay,
high school
well said.
kids are cruel. Yeah, absolutely. Or kids in general.
Yeah,
And
especially high school kids.
yeah.
I feel like they mean it more because they got more common sense at that age.
I have time to plan the attacks and what to say and when. Timing got a lot to do with it.
I got another icebreaker.
Okay.
It, it says, "How do you handle people who talk at you instead of talking to you?" I'm pretty good at one ear and out the other thing, looking right at you. So I've come to master that one. My ears are always just one ear and out the other.
I'm not sure I even understand the difference. Talking to you, talking at you. What does that mean?
Me and you were talking to each other. We're having a conversation. Instead, someone's talking at you is more, maybe a little more
I would say a
demeaning.
more
Condescending.
condescending vibe. Exactly.
Yeah,
Thanks for explaining.
Or like he's talking to you like you're a child, even though you're a full grown adult.
right. There you go. That's one. Yeah, I pretty much mastered the one ear and out the other part of this life. So you got
Yeah,
that.
you have to with the memory, short term memory loss.
Well, that helps.
Yes, it does. It's like, oh, we argued about that yesterday?
Yeah,
Okay. That was yesterday.
right. I don't remember, and I feel better because I don't remember. Um,
Yeah.
Next, go ahead, Ann.
Yeah, when people, I used to just let it go, you know, I'd be like, okay, blah, 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 let them talk. But after a couple of years of therapy with a trauma therapist, she helped me fix that. She said one of the best things to do, because they are not going to listen, they're not going to hear you, is to either one, turn around and make them talk to your back. And that usually gets their attention faster than anything. Or interrupt them and ask them to repeat something they just said. And if they can't repeat it, that means they're talking at you without thinking. So then when you repeat what they said, they're like, whoa, I never said that. You know, and that's where that comes in. But every now and then, you know, I'll do the turn my back trick. And it's worked with doctors, it's worked with family members. Yeah, when they're just like blah 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 blah, and you this and you that, and it's your fault, and this, and this isn't going to work because you this and you that. Oh, you're in too much pain for pain management. That doctor got my back. He, it wasn't completely turned around, but he definitely was talking to my temporal lobe, not my face. Okay. And I was like, yeah, okay, we're done here. You didn't hear anything that I said, nor did you look at the MRI. And you are reading exactly what you read to me 2 years ago, because I'm reading it in my chart as you're saying it. And he was like, uh, um, okay, so what's next? So then he got up to see if we could do injections. And oh no, you're too acute. Because I jumped when he poked his finger into my cervical spine. Yeah, anybody would. So yeah, but that's when they're talking at me. It's like I'll either turn around or I'll ask them to repeat something or expand. Could you expand on that? I want to make sure I understand what exactly it is you're trying to tell me here. But there are people that simply will not stop and they just keep talking, and I've been known to walk away. And especially in a conversation. Like if you were having a conversation and then all of a sudden they're just talking at me and I don't have a chance to interject, that's where the conversation ends. So I can leave the room, right? So yeah, that's how I do that.
That'll catch your attention.
Yeah, most people, they look at me as like non-confrontational. So a lot of people kind of do talk at me. And like my dad, he was like, well, no, I'm not going to say that's the example. But one example is my dad, he was just like, he was angry. I forgot what it was about because it went in one ear and went out the other. But he was looking at me as he was talking to me, and he was like, you don't even care. Look at your face. And I was just like, I'm not let things get to me. Like you might tell me to do something, anybody. I'm gonna do it. Not that I want to do it, but yeah, you're looking at me and you're talking and angry. I'm gonna take my time. Um, yeah, just don't let things get to me, and then that bothers people when it doesn't bother you when they're talking at you. That's the main part. So it's not bothering me if you said it. I listened, and after that, it went right out the other ear. I might ask you again. What do you want me to do? That's me. So yeah, you got to master that one. Sometimes it's hard because some people will get to you and you can't get out the other ear, but breathe in, breathe out. It works.
Yeah. As soon as they say, you're not paying attention or this isn't making you upset, my defense then is, were you expecting a reaction from me? Is that what this conversation is about?
Yep.
Because if that's the case, that's manipulation. You told me I needed therapy. I went to therapy. This is what I learned. And I'm not going to let you do that. And I think that's one of my favorites. I did that to my son-in-law once. And I'm like, you expected a reaction that you didn't get. And I'm so happy that I disappointed you. But let's have a conversation about that. And it's just that by then they don't want to talk because they don't want to hear what you have to say because they didn't get what they wanted. And that is like, check, red flag. Okay, we're done. That's it. Mhm.
Jeff?
I'm sorry, what was the question?
I forgot. Oh, how do you handle people talking at you and not talking to you instead of talking
Don't
to you?
I don't pay attention to them.
Nice.
I just it doesn't affect me. I don't listen. I, I go elsewhere.
Yeah, same here.
Yeah, those are the interactions that I make a point not to make a note of. because
Right.
normally I literally need to write down anything and everything that's said if I want to be able to recall it from the tone, like when you said in the doctor's office, it's kind of those red flags when you can't get a word in. That's a little bit of a red flag when they're talking to you. And those are the ones on purpose. I'll just leave it on the my chart and add my own notes of, keeping it factual and just not even I'll make my note of why to not go back to that doctor. But I don't relish remembering the people that are not worth, even that much. So I guess you could call that letting it go.
There you go.
How about Raven?
Raven, you there?
Uh,
Oh,
yep, I'm here. That caught me off guard. I don't even know if I experience this very often because, or like if I don't know when it's happening, like maybe. I don't really have an answer for that. I don't leave the house very much, and I haven't had anyone like talk at me in a while because I don't interact with people very often. So I like everybody else's answers, and I hope that I can emulate that if I'm ever in that situation and can identify that it's happening.
yeah. You ever have a moment when you'd be like, why are you talking to me like that? One of those moments.
Yeah, not I can't think of anything off the top of my head, but if ever I do, then I'm gonna try that turn in your back thing.
I heard it works.
Yeah, sounds like
Um,
a really good idea.
I got another one. What's a sign that you got good friends?
Hmm.
At
They
this point in
check up
life,
on
I
you.
need the good friends that come around. That's a good
Yeah,
thing. Or
it's
you
gotta be
call.
right. The people who check in on you.
There you go.
Yeah.
Go ahead, Toaster.
You guys,
Thank you.
uh, friends who will tell me, well, them, if that makes any sense.
So anybody that you feel like is being genuine with you.
Yes.
Yeah,
All
that
of you.
makes sense.
Oh, I'm 35, but I learned this term today. I am ADHD as fuck. It's not a medical term, but it describes it perfectly.
Yeah.
So I am literally I am the person that my mom still okay. If she says my first name, I should listen. If she says my second name, I need to look around because I'm about to get squished by something. If she says my full name, I'm in trouble. And she still has me trained of wait, wait, one, two, and I stop whatever it is I'm doing. Like that happened my during a neurology visit up in Durham. We were in the parking deck and I went one way, she went the other, and notice I'm not following her. And so she starts calling out to me and calling out to me, and I froze like a freaking 9-year-old. Oh, I'm in trouble. My mom's pulled out the numbers.
That's amazing.
I know. I'm never going to let her forget it too.
I don't think she'll let you either.
No, but it's a mutual funny story that we like. I forgot where I was going with that. I'm sorry. Oh yeah, I bounce all over the place all the time. The only time I really focus is honestly when I'm writing, and that's not really writing. I'm just speaking out loud.
Gotcha. So,
Anyway, again, I'm rambling.
good friends. I don't think you gave me the perfect explanation. What's a sign that you have a good friend?
People who don't get annoyed by my hyperness. There.
Okay, that's a good one.
That's excellent.
And you got any good friends left?
No, I can't say that I do. Um, but I do know the sign of a good friend is they are there for you as much as you're there for them. And when they don't show up at all, they're off the list. And I would rather be friendless than have to deal with people who are less of a friend. Um, and there's people that come into our lives for a reason, a season, or a lifetime. And there are people that came into my life for a reason. I needed the help. They needed the help. It worked out. Yes, the people in Baltimore that saved my life, the Bloods. Okay, that's all I'm saying. The people that were there for me were wonderful people. And unfortunately, life puts you in a place or you choose, whatever, but they were still amazing people. And they were right there to help me. And, it was a short period of time, so that was a reason. And then there are people that are there for a season, but I haven't had anyone stick around for a lifetime because I remember when I stopped driving, I lost a lot of my friends that lived 45 minutes away. And it's like, well, you can come out here. I've been going out there every weekend. And, that's $20 in gas, what have you. And it's like, well, you can come out here. And even when I was in the hospital, my kids called my friends, they never showed up. And that's what sealed the deal. It's like, okay, then you don't need to know what's going on. And then one day this friend showed up with all these gifts, literally love bombing me. And I'm like, just take that back to your car, get in and drive away. It's Yeah, you could give me a mountain of gold and it will not repair what happened. I mean, yeah, when yeah, it's when they're there for you the way you were for them. And I think it comes down to that for me personally. And I understand we can't always expect certain things from some people. We all have limitations, but within those limitations, I think, people need to be there. And if they're not, they're not. So I'm friendless and single, but
You got us. You are not friendless. You know that.
I know. Oh, I know
You
that.
know
But to
better.
have somebody I can call and say, "Hey, get over here, I need help," that's a little tougher. But I don't know. I kind of like being by myself and doing what I want to do when I want to do it, and
Me
not.
too.
And I don't like making plans. That was another thing with people. My saying is one thing you can count on with me is that I'm unreliable. And that was before I was even diagnosed. Okay. So, something can come up and those plans are going to change. And some people just couldn't accept that. And in 2023, somebody who I thought was a friend, a lot younger than me, more like, my kid's age, but she had this celebration coming up, but I ended up in the hospital with emergency surgery, came out 2 days later. I was back for 5 days and I just gotten out of the hospital. And she's like, well, I'm expecting you to be here. Oh, well, that's your problem. If those are your expectations, that's your problem. I just, a get well soon would be nice, but I can't make it. And she stopped talking to me because I couldn't go to her party because I just got out of the hospital. And yeah, that was yeah, stuff like that. It's like I don't go back to that. I won't chase people if they're not going to be there for me or do something like that. It's like you could have at least listened to why I couldn't come, and she didn't care. She's like, you told me you would be here. I didn't know when this party was. Well, I told you when I planned it, I expected you to be here. Well, I didn't know when you were planning this. Well, it doesn't matter. I expect you to be here. I literally just came home from the hospital 2 hours ago, and I can't go anywhere. So it was one of those things, and it's like, okay, yeah, she was there for me. I appreciate everything she did, but that you can't, yeah, she sliced off her arm in neck, she just kind of, yeah, people do it.
Um, Jeff, you got any friends around?
Not good friends anymore. Uh, I thought I did up until I needed someone around, and they weren't there. Uh, and I kind of wrote them a Kepler rage letter. Uh, and I mean, uh, not really. I have friends that aside from you, that I communicate with via email. Um, and my wife has friends that when I'm in Pennsylvania, I see, but they're not my friends.
I understand that. Hey, Mark.
I was thinking from listening to everybody else's answers that I would consider a friend somebody that I can keep learning from. Somebody who's kind of continuing to grow and change and I don't want to say necessarily keep it exciting, but allowing me to help them just as much as, you know, they've done for me kind of thing. Like that thing Ann was saying about when people just put up a wall and it's never like a two-way street with the friendship. Then they throw that back in your face later on down the line. Those the ones I'll try to stay away from.
Yeah, I got my best friend. He's not around as much. I understand him because he went and had, I think, 2 or 3 kids maybe, and I have 6. So yeah, it'd be a hard time for him to take time off and find a sitter and then come out here 3 hours away. Um, so yeah, there's that, and yeah, I still call him like a good friend. Then I got my cousin. He's like my best friend. He's one that calls me, asks me how I'm doing, keeps in touch. That's kind of a good friend. And then I got you guys. Like, you guys, you're gonna say you're gonna come. You either come or you call and say I'm not. You don't necessarily call, but you guys, you get in touch and you say I'm not coming. I don't have anybody like that. It's gonna be like, oh, I'm not coming. I'm either gonna call you like, hey, supposed to be here 20 minutes ago, and what's up? And then nothing. Or you get the voicemail, you don't even get to say that. So yeah, I
Yeah,
got you guys.
straight to voicemail's a red flag.
Especially when
All
you're
right, Mark,
supposed to
you
be
back
here.
on yet?
I still can't hear you.
Nope, still okay. All right, maybe just restart or unplug it, plug it back in or something. Did we hear from Raven yet on what your definition of a true friend is?
Um, kind of. I just inserted. I think it's just somebody who checks in to see how you're doing.
Okay. So one of the
That
things that I
was
was
mom checking in with her friend. Okay, sorry.
Thanks,
there you go.
Mom.
Hey, it could be anybody. All right, so one of the things that I was taking notes on for today was the types of epilepsy. And the way I went about this was using the ICD-10 codes because that's what the doctors will actually use at the office to diagnose or, supposedly diagnose what kind of epilepsy you have. And this has a lot more to do with billing than I realized. So the original, kind of the base code is G40. That's idiopathic localization related epilepsy. So they can call it idiopathic focal epilepsy too. This is focal onset, so there's seizures that start in one localized part of the brain. depending on the affected area. So this one comes in handy when somebody describes, the twitches on one side during the aura, then the doctors know kind of what side of the brain to look for or to start at. And idiopathic is the cause where the cause of epilepsy is not identified. So they have to prove a lot of times using this code how many tests they've done and questions that have been asked, and that didn't lead to anything. A lot of times when they diagnose you with idiopathic epilepsy, you'll have a normal brain structure. So the MRIs are clean. And this is the one where the onset can occur in childhood. So it can occur at any point in life, really. But this is some of the ones that they use for the more confusing cases, or right at the beginning. Whether you're diagnosed as a child, adolescent, or adulthood, this is the G40 is kind of the base code that they might start with. And this is the one that they'll go for on especially those childhood syndromes that they might grow out of. Now, G40.1 is localization related symptomatic epilepsy. So they call it focal symptomatic epilepsy. And that's the kind where it comes from that localized part of the brain. But it's different from generalized epilepsy. So it will never involve both sides of the brain at the same time. And this can be focal onset. It says there is a known cause though. So this code is only used when they do find a cause. And I gotta pick this up when bro chills out. Sorry.
Yeah, I got one. It says, "What does a seizure feel like? I am not diagnosed with epilepsy, but I think I had a seizure. I know not all seizures are the same, but would love to hear your experiences to help me come to terms with just happened to me. I remember abdominal pain to the point where I couldn't stand up. The pain got so bad, I felt like I couldn't breathe, and my head started to rush, and I felt like I was going to faint. I blacked out after that. My um, SO, so like significant other. My significant other said I collapsed, but thankfully he was there to catch me and take me into our bed and started convulsing with my mouth open, and I was shaking uncontrollably. I don't remember anything. I just woke up with the body aching and sore. That pretty much sounds like a seizure. But what does it feel like? It's unexplainable. It's just feels like you just been ran over by a bus, and then the worst. Then the headache is the worst. It feels like I've hit my head with a baseball bat, but it just sticks around. That's the worst part. The postictal headache, that's the worst part. But yeah, the feeling. Actually, when I have the ones where I seem like I'm kind of awake, well, not kind of awake, I've had a seizure to where I'm doing the convulsing and all that. I'm gritting my teeth, biting down, but my eyes are open and I can see what's going on and I can hear what's going on. Those ones are odd. Yeah, and they feel like you're just getting tasered. That's what it feels like. Just imagine just getting tasered for like 30 seconds. And then I also feel like myself hitting my head. So I can feel that. I'm just hitting my head and I can't stop it and I can't do anything because I'm no longer in control. But I can see and I can hear people in panic and I can see them saying, "Get this person or get that person, get a pillow for his head," and stuff like that. But yeah, those ones I absolutely suck. That's what a seizure feels like. Imagine the taser. Well, any of you guys ever got tasered? So yeah, just imagine getting tasered for like 40 seconds and you can't stop it. Can't push the person, none of that. Just getting just nonstop. Hey Mark.
Okay, can you hear me?
Yes.
Yay, okay. Hey guys, how you doing?
All right. Icebreaker
How is
question.
that how is that false awakening thing, Pookie. You didn't actually have a seizure, did you?
No, it was odd. Yeah, I felt like once it started to have like drama in the first dream, I kind of woke up. Well, I thought I woke up, trying to get out of that dream. And I woke up and I felt like I was like 2 minutes away from it being too late to join you guys. And I had panic and I went to a seizure. And then I woke up after all that, another fight at the hospital. That was the part that actually woke me up all the way. And there was like a brawl, like all of my in-season friends from the epilepsy universe were all there fighting nurses and doctors and stuff. You guys came to the hospital when I was in a coma. That was that feeling. It was odd, but after the second fight is when I woke up. The first incident where, yeah, that one, it ended. I woke up and got out of it, but I thought I was woke and I wasn't. I ended up waking up and like, oh, nice. It's 7 o'clock. I got 5 hours left to start. Instead of 3 minutes before and 4 hours late. And then you guys had Kate for a year. How was that, Kate?
I'm sure that was draining. Nah, it's totally gives purpose. Would have made some schedules and yeah, made time for sure. I think this advertising thing is gonna peak for real. We're
Yeah.
examples ourselves of how well B12, can actually make a difference. So I don't see why people wouldn't try, especially getting off of the clobazam now, 2 weeks. That's when I would suspect that it's all out because now I'm getting a vibe or an indication of maybe what I felt like before the clobazam. Back when he was 2, I wasn't taking notes on things like that of how medications affected me differently because I was just so used to taking it for a couple weeks, telling the doctor I was still having seizures, up the dose, and it was the same cycle over and over. So I wasn't being really specific in my notes. But now I think I have a feel for maybe how much more energy I had. Maybe this is why I wasn't in the plus sizes 2 years ago because I have so much more energy to not need enough sleep, but also to want to make use of my day, of any awake time is not just laying around lethargic and, getting necessary chores done, but, wanting to do like a full spring clean instead of
Oh wow.
just, you know, yeah. So it's exciting to definitely feel a difference, but I'm not pushing it any further yet, one step at a time. So I feel like the second I relish in the glory, I'm gonna go down. So we'll see.
That's how it always feels. I feel like
Still looking over
like
your
when
shoulder.
something's going too well, you feel like it can't last, and you feel like it's gonna disappear the second it's you get your hopes up about it continuing.
Yeah, with the B12 thing. Also, I got the bracelet. I had to get me a medical bracelet, so
Oh, I've
now I
got a
can
road
go
ID
places.
one. I've got a road ID one too. Yeah.
Yeah, it says don't Narcan me also, so they don't give me Narcan. Um, it's happened to a few people I've heard. That's a nice bracelet, Toaster. Do you ever replacement bands? No.
You think this is my last one and I just found it like yesterday.
Um, oh yeah, the thing about the B12. The B12, it's been working pretty good for me with the focals. I haven't had one, and I just noticed that I'm getting more energy. I'm not taking as many naps, and it's like today when I woke up, I can't go back to sleep. It's like you got energy now. You're not gonna go back to sleep, and I try and try. I'm like I got an alarm to go off when I take my pills. I usually wake up at 10, but it's 7, and I just feel so awake and that's what the B12 has been doing to me. It's giving me, I'm not going to say unnecessary energy, but I like to sleep till 10. And my body was just, I was just laying there like, I'm not going to sleep. I am no longer tired. Like, you know how you lay on the pillow and just get so warm again? That didn't work. I was just laying there feeling warm, but it's pretty good. It's been working pretty good for anybody. Shout out to Nature's Made for the B12. Works really good. I got some other witnesses. Hold on. That can't happen.
Chances are, though, we might have something in the works. Before you go and purchase a B12, let's wait until Pookie gets his code so the sponsorship can get going.
Shout out
Enter
to
this
B12
code
again.
upon purchase, and that's the way to do it.
Yep.
So we'll get that to you guys soon.
Yeah, shout
Did
out to
Rachel hear the
B12.
icebreaker yet?
No, I did not yet.
Okay,
But
I think it was Rachel and Mark still.
Rachel and Mark, shout out to B12 by Nature's Made as well. The question was, that was one of them. I don't know how I forgot. You guys, how'd you guys forget? Oh,
What was the most devastating time in your life, and how did you get through it?
Oh,
Or I think it was, how do you know a good friend?
how do you know you have a
That
good
was the
friend?
second one.
oh, I know. I've got an easy answer for the first one. The worst time in my life was I had my first surgery in Boston, and I don't live in Boston. And it was when I was well enough that the hospital wasn't keeping me, but 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 I was still sick enough that I needed to recover. And the people who we had been staying with, they had a I'm sorry. They had a daughter who was not cognitively normal and just got too excited about things, so we couldn't really stay with them. Um, but so we went to this stranger's house. I didn't know who this woman was. I don't remember her name even. And the house was decorated so weirdly. And I remember for a week, it hurt to be alive. And all I would do was sleep, because if I was awake, it didn't matter what I was doing to try and distract myself. It just hurt. And I couldn't eat anything without immediately throwing it up. And it was just awful, and it was just the worst week of my life. And my brother Joseph and his wife had come up when I was recovering from my first surgery for like moral support, and they kept asking me, like, we're gonna go do this, we're gonna go do that, do you want to join us? But every single time I felt bad, but I kept having to say no because it hurt to exist. I felt so bad. And I was sleeping all day long, but I didn't even care because it hurt to exist. And I would throw everything up, and it hurt to walk, and it hurt to eat. It was just awful. And also they had shaved my head only halfway. And my incision was like bright red. So I looked ridiculous, and it hurt to exist, and I had no energy to do anything. I got through it because my mom was there, and she would guide me through like walking exercises to get me to walk better. And then one day, she took me out of the house when she was sure I was feeling better, and went to a restaurant that had my favorite food, which is chicken Alfredo. And she made sure that I was feeling well enough to eat. And I almost threw it up, but I didn't. And it was her being there, and then Joseph and his wife were still there, so they were also support. I would not have gotten through it without them.
Yeah. Shout out to Chicken Alfredo.
Yeah.
Heck
On
yeah.
to the next question. The next question was, what's the sign of a good friend? Or there was another one. Oh, how do you handle people who talk at you and don't talk to you? Mark, you can answer too.
I mean, I'm usually the one talking at people. I kind of have been trying to work on that a little bit. Yeah, I don't know. I forgot the question already. What was it?
How do you handle when people are talking at you and not talking to you?
Um, yeah, that's a
Yeah, we
that's
get it all, I'm sure. We all get it a little bit every now and then.
it's I don't know. That's something that kind of sets off my internal stuff, psychological issues. And I kind of just been working on trying to stop and step back and, think about, are their intentions really what I'm initially feeling and assuming? Um, yeah, that and just patience. Um,
Mine is pretty much I pretty much mastered the fact of one ear and out the other. Got it down packed. So that's mine. The other question was, what was the hardest thing you've ever been through, and how did you get through it?
um, well, I don't know. You want the story of my life?
Right.
That's kind of
Whatever
what
you want to offer.
um, I don't know. If I were to pick something, it would be getting laid off, losing my job. I was an engineer, working in the power generation industry. Um, and that came at a really bad time for me emotionally. And yeah, I just kind of spiraled. And right around that time was when the first time I recall, like waking up on the floor with the mother of all headaches. Um, so, um, yeah, how did I get through that? My parents, they're letting me live with them. They're supporting me. I wouldn't be here without them in just about every sense of the word or words, you know. But blessed to have a good family.
Yes.
God bless supportive parents.
The other question you didn't get to answer, Rachel, I forgot what it was. I got to go back through the questions. You answered the hardest time question. Oh, the other question was, how do you handle when people talk at you instead of talking to you?
Depends. What do you mean talk at?
Talk at you like, why are you talking to me like that? You have to go through that.
That's usually not related to epilepsy. I usually just I'm a very kind of meek person, so I usually just kind of like try to avoid talking over people. And if they say that, then I'm like, oh, sorry. And then I just stop
And said walking away or turning your
walking
back to them
away.
is a good one. That's a good one. Turn your back to them, and that'll piss them off. That'll get to them.
Yep, that'll get them.
I'm gonna try that one time. See how it works out.
One thing I'd like to know is how you guys deal with people who just kind of like see you as your disability and only as your disability.
Say that one more time.
Sorry, my internet cut out. How do you guys deal with people who see you as like just your disability and only your disability? Like the kind of people who, though they may be well-meaning, don't really see you as a person. They just see you as the one with epilepsy.
The people who have been traumatized act like that.
I had somebody who associated me only with epilepsy. She was my Spanish tutor for a little while. And I remember we were starting to become friends because she was only like a year older than me. And then it was Epilepsy Awareness Day. So I came and she thought she might have epilepsy, but she turned out not to. But this was when she thought she might have epilepsy. And I came to class with I've got an epilepsy awareness pin and and my shirt that says that I own that says I got a brain surgery and I had a brain surgery and all I got was this stupid shirt. Um and I told her it was, and she just distanced herself away from me immediately. And from then on, it was like she'd put up a wall between us. And now, even when I see her around, because she goes around, she just seems to still put up a wall, even after she knows that she doesn't have epilepsy, because it's like I just represent that trauma to her.
What's the difference between Spanish teacher and a Spanish tutor?
A Spanish, oh, she didn't know how to be a teacher, and it was just us.
Okay.
So it's one-on-one.
Yeah, it was one-on-one.
Got it.
Okay. Something says when focal clusters ruin your day, how do you stay productive? How do you get things done?
Huh.
The first response says, I'm not strong enough anymore for these many panic attacks with aphasia a day. Luckily, that on is it cinnabatamate? I now have them very, very rarely, but when I'm immediately hammering, in my midazolam, or clobazam, maybe 3 to 4 times a year, maybe. Before that, I really don't know how I made it. And on clobazam, you can get simple things done, but it makes you stupid. How do you handle the focals? The focal clusters. How do you stay productive, and how do you get things done? I was on Zoom like for 2 or 3 hours, like going through it. So it was crazy. It was fun though. What brought me out of it is like every time she would ask me, "Are you okay?" And then I'd just be like smiling, like, "Yeah, I'm okay. I'm back for the second." And yeah, I handled that pretty well, just going through focals over and over. And yeah, after B12 the next day, no focals ever since.
That's so cool. How long have you been taking the B12?
The Nature's Made? Nah. Yeah, I've been taking the B12 for about 8, 9 weeks.
That's awesome.
Yeah. Like I said, the day after I started, I think I got the gummies. So the day after I started taking them, I haven't had a focal since. And I'm just now paying attention that I don't need naps in between the day anymore. I don't really get tired anymore. I have so much more energy that I don't know where to put now. Because usually I'm waking up at 10, but now I woke up at 7 just to go to the bathroom and couldn't go back to sleep, wide awake. And I'm like, this is having me not sleepy during the day, which I like, but now I'm just adjusting to having more time during the day. So there's that.
That's always something big to adjust to. I'm slowly adjusting to that too.
Yeah, try this. B12.
B12.
Made the extra strength, and they're 3,000 micrograms. So you got to make sure you get the right one. And if you have Instacart, you can do Instacart to a Safeway, buy one, get one. Shout out to Nature's Made. Anybody else?
I don't get anything done. And I give myself space for that because yeah, otherwise I get frustrated and depressed. I have to just say, okay, I cannot do the stairs today because when I'm feeling that, you know, seizure, you guys know exactly what I mean. I'm afraid to get on the stairs because I might miss a step because my brain shuts off. And that's how we think I fell on the stairs in um what was it, 2024? I don't even remember. I think it was last year, but I didn't feel my left leg at all. I still felt conscious, but as soon as I didn't feel my left leg, the thought went in my head like, what am I doing going on? What am I doing? So it may have been one of those split second focal seizures, but normally it's my right side that's affected, so at least this time, the epileptologist I'm seeing is putting all those little pieces together. And he said, well, you don't have temporal lobe epilepsy anymore. You're more generalized. We can't find a single spot. So that could have happened. You still have a focal onset. We just don't know where. And that could have happened. I could have just not been aware that I was on the stairs for a split second, and that side of my body went numb that was going down on the step. And being mid step, there's no way to rescue yourself when you're mid step on a stair without railings. So it was just like, boom, so I don't know. I don't know. But the B12, I'm really interested. It's not it's not causing any insomnia or anything.
No, the thing is, I have insomnia for the lamotrigine. So I
Yeah.
still have the insomnia. It's like, why am I up all these hours and now all I only need is 5 hours of sleep? Up till 2 in the morning. I'm up by 7 and I
5 hours.
feel like I
Wow.
can't go back to sleep. So it's like all
Right.
this, like I said, all this unnecessary energy now. Yeah. So like, yeah, going to the bathroom, don't do that. Hold it as
Yeah.
long as
Ugh.
possible because I swear, like after that, I felt so tired that I wanted to not go to the bathroom. And then when I did, couldn't go back to sleep and started noticing that I got more energy lately. I
No,
didn't
any
take,
Yeah.
cold tile on your feet. Once your feet touch the cold tile, you're
Oh
out for
yeah.
good. Yeah.
but I had on slides. I keep my
Oh,
slides
okay.
on, so I didn't feel the cold floor. Um, it wasn't like anybody was playing music or anything. It was just, yeah.
You're up, you're up.
Yeah.
No, that thing Ann said though, that made me think too. It's on my left foot. That's the one where it seems like all these random why did that happen kind of injuries happen to. So, it was 2 steps out of this RV on the last trip. So there was a couple of triggers that could have maybe lowered a threshold, and I'm thinking that could have been one of those cluster type times when it went unnoticed because everybody was just trying to do their own thing, get the fuck out of this camper for a little while. And again, just coming down the steps, I remember opening the door and that was it. That I was on the ground and left ankle definitely missed a step or maybe just I don't know. And same thing with vacuuming. This hauling around this. I don't know if you guys know what Electrolux is, but it's a fucking tank of a vacuum. And I've backed up into it. I've been using this thing for long enough that I know the technique of how to not bust your ass using this vacuum. And of course, left foot, it's like I stepped backwards right into it, and it's worse than like wearing shoes that wear away on the back of your heel for all day. It was like that. Lasted for 2 weeks, so I know it wasn't a regular step. And that's what makes me think these focal seizures got me actually still moving and not knowing for little milliseconds sometimes. And those are the
Goodness.
ones that I would never dream to record.
I I don't I have I have something for I have advice for the panic attack part, not for the other part because I tend to just take the day off whenever I have a major seizure of any kind. uh, which is around about the time that that my I was done with all of my brain surgeries and life was returning to normal. I've always had kind of bad anxiety, but it's like flared up into complex PTSD and it got worse and worse. And really the only thing that helped was, probably doesn't help everybody, but meditation was the only thing that could just like break through. Because like stress is definitely a seizure causer, and it wasn't causing seizures then, but you know, it is a seizure causer for me at least. But I would suggest meditation for that.
Yeah, when it's things that I have to do, or like things for me, I'll just be like, I'm gonna take the day off, like you said.
Yeah,
But if it's things for other people, I just take my time and I go slow. And
yeah, exactly.
sometimes they give up on having me do it. You're taking forever. Give it to me.
Can I
Um,
jump in
Medi-
on that?
Go ahead.
Please do.
What you just said, Pookie, because this is something that I had to learn. I think we all should, especially when we have any type of disability. The people pleasing. You said you'll just let things that you have to do for yourself go, but if it's something you have to do for somebody else, you'll take your time and get it done. Why?
Mm.
Why?
Good question.
Because I think if I keep doing it, if I be like, no, I can't do it, I don't know. I guess people take me as you're a
You
big guy.
you
You can do
you think
this.
that'll be seen
Yeah.
as rude that
Yep.
you can't do it on the same day you can't do anything else?
It's
I
like,
know. My thing
yeah,
was I always had to prove that I could still do it. And my stuff can wait because I didn't have to prove it to myself. So I would be, okay, I can still do this so they don't see me as, you know, whatever,
Yeah.
incompetent, whatever. But when it all came out in the wash, I was actually people pleasing. And it's like, well, I can't do that for you today because I have these things to do for myself. But if you want to help me do my things to get that done faster, I can help you do those things. But I had to learn, and I'm still learning it. I have to put myself first.
That's so hard to learn.
It is
yeah,
so hard because I feel like I have to always prove myself to be competent and do those things that those other people are asking when I'm not even thinking about, what it would take to get my stuff done would be a lot easier than what they're asking me to do. So I had to learn how to say no. And if I had to explain it, I can explain it. I
Yeah.
just had that happen. Somebody wanted me to help her do something and, take a trip to the res, get our cigarettes, but then, and that's fine. I'll do that. But she wanted me to go back to her house, sit with this dog that she was fostering, who was an absolute terror. In 6 weeks, it's cost her almost five
On
thousand
the
dollars.
same day that
Oh my
you
God.
had an
And I'm
amazing.
like, I can't do that. And, I said, if you want to do this, you're going to have the dog in the car. She had to pick up a prescription. I'll run in and pick it up. No, you can't do that. It's my prescription. Honey, if you think I don't know how that works, I can go and get an antibiotic for you. It's not a big deal. Um, but no, she had to do it where she wanted me to go back to her house, sit with the dog at the house, so she could go pick up the prescription, come back and get me, and then drive me back home. And I'm like, I can't do that. And she's still mad at me. And I'm like, I don't care. I mean, not, I don't care. It's like, that wasn't my choice. Am I the only person in the world, But it's like, I had to say, I really can't do that because I didn't feel safe being alone with a dog that could attack me.
Yeah.
Because I was in one of those moods. I know, I don't know what I would have done to the dog. Okay.
Yeah. So, and I just didn't want to be in that situation when there was an easier solution, but it's like, oh, well, I didn't get my medicine because, oh, because I'm the only person you know in the world. Um, yeah, no. Uh, but I had to learn to take care of myself first, but I still do it, Pookie. I do the same thing. I will drudge my way through doing something for somebody else while I'm looking at a total disaster in my bedroom from a week ago, and it's like, what the hell? But yeah, in those days, I just don't even try to do anything for anybody. Um, and I just have to say, this is just one of those days and be grateful for the good ones.
Generally all of my friends, like I said, are online, but they understand. Like I'm used to like helping people, talking things through and stuff like that, but I just generally they just generally understand that if I say I just had a seizure, that means I'm not doing it, and if they're doing that out of pity, then I don't even care because it just means that I don't have to do anything, you know?
Yeah, yours is a little better because it's like I told you, maybe it's because of my stature because I'm the biggest person around sometimes, most of the time. Um, so yeah, most of the times it's like, can you do this? Can you lift this for me? Can you put this IKEA table together before you go to sleep? Move the car. It's in the red, even though I'm not supposed to be driving. Just move it forward a little bit. All you need to do is move it forward. You're not driving. Yeah, I could press on the gas and now your car's down the block. But
Yeah.
anyhow, yeah. So there's
Yeah,
that
it's
part. Those are
like
the
me on the
times.
lawnmower. Yeah,
Those
I
are the
almost
times where I'm sitting there like, I hope I have a seizure while I'm doing this because you want me to do this.
So
I'm
sometimes
like,
sometimes I'll
let me just
sometimes
have
I'll
a
have a
seizure
seizure
while I'm in
like
your
right
car.
before I have to go to the hospital, and then like everyone, including my parents, are like, "You got to get in the car," and I'll just like be in seizure land, still barely like I'm post-ictal, still barely knowing what's going on, and there's just knowing that everyone around me feels very stressed, and then I have to go somewhere I don't want to go, and it's generally like I don't like no.
Yeah, like I said, those are the times where I'm like, oh my goodness, I'm not supposed to be doing this. You're you're talking at me to get me to do this. I hope I have a seizure in front of you and show you that I shouldn't be doing this. And I told you so.
Yeah,
Yeah.
this one time I was so stressed out that I literally after I had the seizure, I sleep, you guys know, the tonic clonics, I sleep, and and when I slept, I was so stressed out that I literally the stress song from the show Don't Hug Me, I'm Scared was my entire I usually don't have a dream, but it made an exception to play the stress song from Don't Hug Me, I'm Scared. And then when I woke up, I was like, whoa, I was thinking, whoa, that was weird. And then my parents were like, oh, thank goodness you're awake. We got to get to the hospital. Quick, 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 out the door. And I was like, oh, I get why my brain was playing the stress song on loop while I was asleep.
Mark, you got something for that?
Um, for what? I'm sorry, for what? I mean,
When you have
the
clusters, how do you get through the day when you have things to do?
um, I mean, I'm with Annie. I really don't. If I have a cluster, I take a clonazepam and just sit with this one. Perfect timing. But yeah, I think it's important not to push anything further. If my brain has proven to me that it's already on edge, um, I just
Yeah. Just
try to listen loud and clear and catch up
gotcha.
whenever if I need to. But or well, I don't know, make a point to be around people that will understand, you know. My social circle is very small, but very understanding, very supportive, and I just um I yeah, I think that's important. Um
Yeah, when I
Friendship
pointed
should
it
be
out just a
helpful.
few minutes ago, I pointed out that like I'm usually the biggest one in the room. I kind of just paid attention to that when I said that. Like 95% of the time, I'm the tallest person in the room. Um, but yeah, um, there's also Jason. How you doing, Jason?
I'm doing good. I'm doing good. Just I just got back for a walk, so
Nice. We were on a question. Um, it was basically like, how do you get through a day where you have a bunch of clusters, or do you just not get through the day? When you have things to do, how do you stay productive after a cluster? Or you can go to sleep. That can be an answer.
well, like I get through the day. Depends, depends on like where like if it's a hot day or if it's a warm day.
Okay. Yeah, I don't get things done if it's me. If it's just me, I'll take a nap. I'll do what I got to do, get out of the way. But one of the icebreaker questions was, oh, what's the hardest thing you ever been through, and how'd you get through it?
So, hmm, so so like the hardest thing that I've been through was like packing all my stuff for Tallahassee and moving down to Pompano. And I told myself I told myself man, like, do I really want to do this and stuff like that? So but at that time I was staying at my parents' house, and my parents was not, and my parents didn't really care. They didn't want to help me. So like, you know what I mean? Like, so like I did everything on my own. But
Oh
like,
wow.
but like I did have a friend that helped me. But I did have a friend that helped me. So like, yes, yeah. So like, shout out to Kelja for helping me. So, so, so like I pack, yeah. So like I had to repack all my stuff in a U-Haul and then travel down to like South Florida.
Oh, Florida. Is that where Miami is in South Florida?
Yeah, like, well, no, just like I don't live in Miami. Like I now live in Palm.
Miami's just the tip, so
Yeah, like
it's kind of far away. South Florida is like 100 miles of the bottom of Florida. I'd say like Stewart, like the Stewart area down all the way down to the end is all South Florida.
yeah, like Tampa to Sebring's like 2.5 hours like south. So like, I stayed there in the treatment center, and that's where I tapered off to Pyramid. So because like I was because like I was having like a lot of speech slurring side effects, and like, and then like I moved down to Pompano. So like I'm in Pompano, so like, my doctor helped me, like, and he was telling me, like, you really gotta get off the Geodon. And I was like, okay. And like I was kind of nervous a little bit, like getting off the Geodon because because of the side effects, and it was an antipsychotic medication. And
Mm.
the worst part, I was using it for 7 years. So so I gave it a shot because like I knew like Geodon had like turned me down emotionally and drained out of me basically. So like I had basically so like I had to like make a choice, and I told myself like just just get off the Geodon.
Um,
Like,
Go ahead.
yeah, so like right now I'm taking like Keppra. I'm taking like 1,500 milligrams and vitamin B6. And like I'm looking on more on what I should take, like for epilepsy.
Okay. Another one was
I've got, sorry, I've got an answer to that. I think the hardest thing I ever did, epilepsy wise, was, my epilepsy was really severe, and I was told, and my seizures went on for so long that they became status multiple times, and so I was just told to my face multiple times, you could have died, or you would have died, or you almost died because of this seizure. So for a while, SUDEP was in my brain, and I kind of misinterpreted SUDEP as just like I would wake up and I guess I didn't misinterpret it, but but for a while I was very, very scared that I would just die at any minute and that would be it. Not even seizure related, because I guess I did misinterpret it because I thought I would just go like that, just all of a sudden die with I didn't even relate it to seizures. I knew that it was in epilepsy, but I used to like go to sleep and not know if I'd wake up and pray that I would wake up. And how I got through that was I had to basically stare death down in the face and go through a long battle of how do I feel about death? How would I feel if I died and all that? And just automatically come out the other side deciding um uh if I die, that sucks, especially since my whole life so far has been, like fighting to stay alive. But if I die, I get to meet God. So I'm not afraid of death. I don't want to die, but I had to like overcome the fear and just be like, if I die, that's fine, I've done enough here. Does that make
okay.
sense?
Yeah, it
Basically,
makes sense.
yeah.
Definitely.
Yeah, that makes sense.
So we got somebody new. Hey AJ, I mean to put you on the spot. How you doing?
Hello.
Your mic is off, I believe.
You're talking with me?
Yeah.
Sure.
Oh, hi.
So usually for new people, we start with what are you taking? When were you diagnosed, and when was your last seizure?
I was diagnosed in 2021, I guess. English is not my first language, so it'll be kind of hard for me to speak.
It's all right.
So, I was
But you're a
diagnosed
pro in the chat.
in 2021 in August, and
When was your last seizure?
that's a hard one. I have no idea. Right now, I'm having a lot of seizures, focal seizure. So I have no idea when I have them.
Okay. What are you taking?
Um, I don't know if you ever heard of this drugs, but it's called zonisamide or something like that.
I
Yeah,
think I've
zonisamide is a
heard.
common one.
Hey,
Zonisimade's all over
Sia.
the place, for sure.
Yeah. We had an icebreaker question. What's the hardest thing you ever been through, and how'd you get through it?
I was forced to give up on my dream.
Yeah, me too.
I was no longer able to go to the university, and everything I knew and I learned, prepared for almost 20 years was taken from me in a second because I had 2 seizures, and then in 4 years I had 500 or more. I don't know.
I think some of us are close to you. in the seizure amount wise. Earlier in my seizure days, I was having a lot. Yeah, that sucks. Also, you guys have the gaming chairs. I'm kind of got a love-hate relationship for you guys all sitting around those gaming chairs. Mine is on the way. It's paid for. Amazon says 4 days. So everything, gaming desk, all that'll be here tomorrow. You'll see that Friday, but yeah.
Hell
You
I
yeah.
guys,
just built a gaming chair for my nephew.
yeah, everybody's sitting around with these gaming chairs. I had to get one. So
I don't, if it helps, I don't have one.
Same.
Yeah, me
that's it.
neither.
It's a love-hate
Sitting here on an
relationship
old
with all
love
these
seat.
unnecessary pillows and things that it comes with. Mine did anyway. It's
Yeah.
comfy though.
Jason, another icebreaker question was, how do you handle when people are talking at you instead of talking to you?
I'll just let the person speak. I'll let the person speak, and then just say what I have to say, and then say what I have to say, and then talk it out within a conversation.
Good answer.
For me, I pretty much learned the master to going in one ear and out of the other. It's worked for me for a long time. So, hi, Sia. See, you're here. The icebreaker question was one. There was two of them. One that I just asked Jason, the same thing. The first one was, what is the hardest thing you ever had to go through, and how'd you get through it?
Oh man.
I find the hard
Is it
questions.
bad that I can't think of one in particular?
Yep. No, I
Um,
mean it's not
No,
bad. My
that's not
bad.
bad. Thank you, thank
I'm
you.
sorry.
You can throw out any example or time in your life when that comes to mind. No wrong answers.
Yeah, I'm sorry. I was mistaken with the yeah.
No, you're good. You're good. Hmm. I think so it's like the worst. You said the worst thing.
Worst thing you ever been through, and how'd you get through it?
I would say that was probably the worst thing that I've been through has probably been when the first time I went to the hospital. I have no idea how I got through it. I just did. I don't remember any of it. Um, but I think it was just the reason it was the worst thing was because it was terrifying. I thought I was dying, and my husband thought I was dying, and the doctors thought I was dying, and I wasn't sure if I was gonna come home from that. It was really scary. I had lost a lot of blood, so many seizures. I think I had a total of like something in the 60s or 70s on the first day. The first 24 hours being there. Um, and so in total, probably like 150 in 3 days. It was a lot. And I remember on the last day that I was there, I had no idea like what had even happened. It was just really scary. But somehow I managed to make it through. I think that's what kind of made me sort of believe in God. And I know that's not for everybody, but that's kind of where I got my faith from because somehow I was saved and I have no idea how still to this day.
I was about to say thank God that you got out of there.
Yeah,
Before you brought
exactly.
up God.
That's what I was saying too afterwards. I was saying thank God. But yeah, I'd say that was like one of the worst times. I mean, I have too many in my life, but I would say yeah, that's one of the worst times.
I feel like
You
we
were
all have
close
too
to
many in our
death.
lives.
Yes, I was close to death. Yeah. I was supposed to get a blood transfusion. And I don't know why they didn't do it. They still haven't really fully been able to explain it to me, other than that there might have been comorbidities. Like if they had done the transfusion, I might have died from the side effects of the transfusion not like integrating with my body and how weak it already was. Because I was in metabolic failure and my kidneys were severely damaged and my liver was severely damaged. Um, and I had like my respiratory rate was super low. I had a severe bradyarrhythmia at the same time. And there was just so much blood that was coming out that like they were having a really hard time stopping it. They gave me huge amounts of what's it called? TXA. I think it's called like tranexamic acid or something like that. That's used to stop hemorrhages. And it was all because of a stupid seizure. Or not seizure, sorry, a stupid surgery. I can't talk today. That I would needed to get, but the surgery just didn't go the way that it was supposed to because the doctor that I had was a piece of crap and she claimed that she knew everything. She had all these fake awards in her office. She's like super top accredited in my state. And lo and behold, like a few months after my surgery happened and all of this shit went down that she blamed on my adenomyosis, um, she started to get really, really bad reviews on her office, like really bad. And she got fired and removed
Good.
from that
Good.
office. Yeah, thank God, I know. But yeah, so it all worked out eventually. But yeah, I just nobody wants to touch me for surgery now with my endo and adeno because of how much damage she caused when she went in there. So yeah, kind of screwed up.
Yeah,
I
screw
still
her.
think of stories like that though as success stories. Even though so much went down, you still managed to find the positivity in it. And I mean, in a sense, justice was served for,
Yeah, I mean,
like,
she
I
did
guess
get
you could say the
fired.
offender.
She did
Yeah.
get fired, yeah, yeah. And it was probably for medical malpractice. So one way or another, I got my last word in with her.
And she lost her reputation.
Exactly.
Well, if you don't start out with any dignity, then you get what you get.
Well, and it helped me be a more positive person, so
There you go.
it is good. Yeah,
Positivity is very important in epilepsy, or else you're just gonna be constantly drowning.
exactly. So I gotta
Yeah,
laugh.
this
Gotta have laughs.
Yes.
absolutely. This question too that I don't know if you guys were here when everybody was talking about friends. Like why would you do something for I think Anne took this from somebody else's context and saying why would you want to do like kind of tough out the favors that you do for other people before handling your own needs. And I
I
can
think
relate this
yeah, on the same day you had a seizure, right?
something like that.
Yeah.
But I was thinking from somebody else's answer that we can relate this back to the epilepsy because honestly, I think it feels more rewarding when I can do something for someone else rather than, like you said, that big pile of laundry that's been there for more than a day. And, yeah, that's just kind of a boring chore to do. But if somebody else can actually, I get more of a rewarding sensation knowing that somebody else can actually remember me doing something right when I do it for them. So that's just one of the notes that I had here. So who else did not get the icebreaker today?
Sia didn't get the other one. There was two.
Okay, there you go.
Sia, the other one was how do you handle when people are talking at you instead of talking to you? One of those times where you gotta be like, why are you talking to me like this? You ever been through that?
Yeah, I have been like quite a lot. I'm like I used to be. This is the way I used to handle it, is that I used to be completely quiet and I just wouldn't say anything at all.
Me too.
But I've kind of become a little bit of a spicy person since then. And I've started to just say so much back to them that they just stop and they leave the conversation.
Good
Which
for
I guess,
you.
yeah, I mean, to me, it's like, yeah, I got it handled finally. I could protect myself. But my husband's like, maybe you should bring it back a little bit. But in my head, the way that I see it is just that, you know what, I've been hurt enough times by people before. I am not going to continue to, just withstand it and just sit there and listen to it. If I feel strongly that it's not
Did
fair
I
or not right.
misinterpret what talk at means? Because I might have misinterpreted it. Did I? I don't know. Sorry.
No, it's all good.
Somebody described it really well as you're being talked at when you feel like you can't get a word in. Like it's a total
Mhm.
one-sided conversation.
Yeah, I get really like angry, but I just kind of like push it down. I'm like, uh-huh. Mm-hmm.
I don't even
You
do
got
that.
it.
I just listen and it just like one ear and out the other. I don't even piss him
Yeah,
off.
I feel like it's a waste of energy to get mad about it. So I
Well,
just like,
I don't show that I'm mad about it.
no, I don't mean it against you. I mean like for me personally. That's why
yeah.
I don't like I didn't used to get mad at people when they would do that to me. But I would just be like okay, I'll just, I'll take it. But now I'm just like, you know what? If you're not gonna let me talk, then I'm just gonna talk over you right back.
This isn't unrelated to anything, but this happened since the last time I was in a chat, a Zoom call, and it's epilepsy related and all that. But I went to the dentist, and I'm someone who has never been afraid of the dentist, even when I was a kid. I just thought of the dentist as like I go here, somebody who wants to talk to me while I can't talk, pokes around my teeth, and then I get a toy. And so I was never afraid of it as a kid. And 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 I also have OCD, so I brush my teeth really rigorously. So I have never really had a cavity, but I had a cavity for the first time, since I was like 2 or 3. And I was going to get a filling, and so it was different, and they laid me down in the chair and they gave me the anesthesia in my gums, and all of a sudden, well, I was sitting there and the dentist was and the same dentist who usually just pokes around my teeth and says, okay, you're all good, was filling it. I started to realize, one, that that I now associate anesthesia with brain surgeries because that's the only time it's really been administered to me. And two, I was scared because I was reminded of brain surgery, and this feeling felt like it was a minor surgery to me, except I was awake because the anesthesia hadn't put me to sleep, and I just felt like this place that was normally just like, okay, it's fine, I'm good with this, had been this, like, I guess you could call it a friendly place, had been turned bad, and all the friendly people were now doing things that I didn't like. And I could tell why, and it just kind of like it scared me. It
That'll change your perspective of any
yeah.
place.
Yeah, I got the also Brandon and Angel, so you guys didn't get the icebreaker. So I'm gonna ask you first, Angel. Brandon, you gotta think while I ask him because it might get rough if I ask you first. Um, the question was, what's the hardest thing you've been through, and how'd you get through it?
All right. Is my mic on now?
Yeah,
Okay. Um, Epilepsy related. It's
it's in particular
probably
just life related, or you can go epilepsy related. It's up to you.
epilepsy related was probably definitely the first cluster where I was aware because it lasted hours, and I really did feel like I was going to die. I felt like an out of body experience and stuff. But, and like Sia said, it's what makes you think, like, yeah, God's there with you, holding you together, you know? Um, Non-epilepsy related, I'm still going through the hardest experience and I'm still trying to work through it.
Okay.
Uh,
Another one was, how do you handle when people talk at you instead of talking to you?
I just pretty much let them go and let them think what they want and, just brush it off. With the meds, sometimes it's harder because you got some meds that want to kick in, like I wouldn't say Keppra-ish, but uh, you
Pepper
can feel that, and
definitely wanted to kick in for me.
you can feel that anger like rising, and you want to say something, but it's like it's harder to control.
Mhm.
But yeah, I just try to avoid it and try to stay to myself, like try to go into my own little world in my head until the whole situation is over, because I know what they're saying already, and it's not making any sense most of the times.
Yeah, I pretty much just kind of just one ear and out the other. I'm listening to you, but I'm not taking anything into nothing. I'm not gonna do it. I'm just listening. Sometimes I might not even be listening, but I'm looking at you. And that's what gets to people is when you're not reacting to the stuff that they're saying as they're going off and giving all their energy into talking at you. That'll get to people. I like Anne's answer. She said, just turn your back to them. That was a good one. Brandon, it's on you.
All right. Well, I think the toughest thing that I've had to go through was uh Fogi. I've mentioned this in the past. I don't really want to describe it again because it's already on video and now there's more people.
Gotcha.
Um, so I had to get stitches in a very intimate place because of a bike crash, and also here's another part of it that I can show. Uh, I have it's kind of like a quarter-sized scar here where a rock went into my arm,
Mm.
and there was bits of my sweatshirt and jacket in there, and rocks, and sand and dirt. And so when the nurse was uh, scrubbing it, they had given me an injection, a pain injection nearby, and she went, "By the way, if I hadn't given you that shot, you would be screaming right now." And she said it so casually. I was like, "Thank you so much for the shot. I feel great right now." Um, and that was basically 3 weeks of recovery for the other injury, where I guess I'll give it away slightly. I had to wear baggy sweatpants for 3 weeks. Uh,
How's the foreskin?
what foreskin?
Yeah, all right.
um,
So you want to go to the next question?
and yeah, now we can move on to the next. Yes.
The
What,
next
what was
question
it
is,
again?
how do you handle when people are talking at you instead of talking to you?
I look right at them and I say, "Talk at me or talk to me." I don't really stand for it. I'm just sort of if you're just going to talk at me, either I'm not going to listen or I'm going to look right at you and say, "Stop doing that. Let's have a conversation." You know? If I can't, then it's because I'm having a seizure, probably, but then they know. But most people know how I am as a person, and they know that, I'll respond, you know.
Okay. Good to know. Brandon will respond. Take no shit.
I would had to basically do that. Well, not really basically do that, but I was just coming back from the store, and I was coming back from the grocery store, and I was passing by the liquor store, and this woman was walking out, and she tried to fight me. So I had to call the police, and I was trying to walk away, but she kept trying to come at me. And after a certain point, I just screamed at her to get the fuck away from me.
You
And
know
it
why
did
she
not
was
help.
attacking you?
It did not help. What was that?
Liquor store's a red flag.
Yeah, I know. It's on my walk, which stinks. It's like, damn it. I
Oh, that
can't.
makes a lot more sense.
Yeah, I was just walking past and she was exiting. Ugh.
Jason, you all right?
Yeah, I'm okay. I'm like physically capable of defending myself. I'm just glad I didn't have to by just backing away and trying to de-escalate. Um, but yeah, I don't know. It was wild. That's the second time today I've had to call 911. First time was at 5:30 this morning. I'm sorry I'm hijacking everything right now. I just need to vent a little bit.
Go ahead. Get it off your chest.
Yeah, no, that's what this is for.
I woke up at 5 a.m. to my upstairs neighbor's fire alarm going off, or smoke detector. And it's happened before, but usually it turns off after 5 minutes or something, and it's not a worry. It's whatever. But it went on for a half an hour, and she wasn't doing anything about it. So I called the fire department to come and deal with it. Because when I walked out in the hallway smelled like smoke. I'm like, oh, and this is the same woman who, if she sees me, she will also try and fight me. Because apparently in my area, it's just full of crazy people. And this is hilarious coming from us, where we all feel like we're crazy, you know. Uh, um, and so yeah, fire department came. They went up and got it turned off, and now it no longer smells like smoke. I'm like, okay, so there was something burning, and she just wasn't dealing with it. I'm so scared to leave my house for work today. Oh,
Thank goodness.
yeah. So yeah, that's my vent sesh. Sorry about
You
that.
gotta go to the gym. Be ready to fight.
I mean, I know how to fight, and the way that I fight is not has to go to the gym style of fighting. So,
Gotcha.
please take your medication as prescribed or whatever works for you. We're not doctors.